Hey there everyone, today we're going to be using Hostinger's AI website builder to create our own gaming blog. I'll take you through everything from the very beginning where you sign up all the way up until you go live with your site. These tips work all the same for e-commerce and business sites or even personal portfolios, so you'll definitely be able to use them for whatever you need it for. But if you haven't joined Hostinger yet, no worries. I've dropped a link in the description with a great offer including a site-wide discount and additional months of free use. However, you can receive an extra 10% off when you copy the Site Starters code in our description and use it when you're checking out with Hostinger. Full transparency though, when you use our link, we do get a commission, so you're also helping us out as well. Now, with all that being said, how about we get started? Alright, so to use the AI website builder, you gotta go to this website builder option in the menu, and then there's only two plans to pick from, and the options are pretty simplistic when it comes to comparisons. So you have the premium and business website builder. They're only $1 apart, but they're further apart when it comes to the features and tools you get, such as the AI tools and e-commerce features that you get with the business plan. So it's only $1, so I'd suggest you getting that one because you're getting more for your money and you can take advantage of the extra stuff. So to buy something, just go to Add to Cart. Then you're going to be taken to this checkout page where the first thing you need to consider is the payment period. So the longer the payment period is, the less you're going to pay right now. And then the next thing is to create an account. This is mandatory, so you need to create an account to be able to go through with this whole process. And then you select your payment type. And lastly, you input that Site Starters coupon code that we got for you. And then afterwards, you just submit the payment. Afterwards, this page will load up, which you just promptly click on skip down here. And then again, you skip on this one too. And this is an important page, but right now we're not going to fiddle around with this. We'll come back to it, but right now just click on the Hostinger logo at the top. And then it's going to take you to the main Hostinger dashboard, at which point you want to just click on websites up here, and then head over to this big purple button that says add website. The first option is WordPress, and then the second one is the one we want, the Hostinger website builder. So you click on that and you just give it a few moments to load everything up. This page will subsequently pop up and you have the option of using the pre-made templates or the AI builder. And since we're using the AI builder for this video, let's take advantage of everything it has to offer. So just click on start creating, and then you enter your brand name, your website type, whatever your website is, just pick it from this drop down menu. I have a blog, and then you enter your description for what your site is. So this is crucial because it's gonna allow the AI to give you a theme for your particular website type. Okay, so I'm gonna write something really quickly and then we'll see how it utilizes my description to apply it to the website that we're building. And what I wrote here is, of course, my brand name, but I also gave the AI as much detail as I could possibly come up with so it can make the best version of what I have in my mind. Okay, so I talked about how it's a gaming blog and I'm talking all things related to gaming. However, I also gave it some information about the colors that I have in mind, such as a deep green, red, and orange, as well as a blend between nature and gaming. So now when I click on create a website, it's gonna do their best to make that version of a website that it can. So just make sure that you put as much information as you can so that you're not disappointed and, well, so you have less work to do yourself when you're making the website. But without further ado, let's create this website and see what it actually comes up with. All right, and here is what the AI came up with. So it has every aspect of a website that you would expect, such as a menu and a footer at the bottom, as well as some contact info, and Lord knows where this is going to take me, but it has all of the elements that you would expect to be on your site, and you can just tweak them as you see fit. And it also creates a bit of a description for each individual post. Now, we are not limited to this layout. We can change it, we can delete everything if we want, but we'll do that. I just wanted to show you a little bit of what we have on the site. It implemented the colors for the pictures, at least, not so much for the entire layout of the website that I was going for, but it does implement some of the things that I described. And when it comes to the descriptions, that's a little more nuanced and precise. But if we go to the top right here, we can preview the actual functionality of the site, because once we click on this post, it'll take us to this post, and there's not much here, but I just wanted to show you that it does work and that it's essentially ready to go but of course I would highly recommend editing it, and that's what we're going to do. So we're going to go back to the editor by clicking right here. And let's take a look at some of the tools that we have at our disposal. To find them, you just head over to the left-hand side, and the first tool you have are your elements, which is where we're going to spend a bulk of our time, because I typically use the text, image, and video elements like my bread and butter. So we're going to be heading back here very frequently. And the next thing below that is the pages and navigation. This is how we switch between the rest of our pages and add other ones. And then here you have the website styles, where we can change the more finer details such as fonts, buttons, and animations, as well as the whole color of the website, which we'll dig into once we get to that point. Down below is the AI aspect of this. Now, I don't like to dwell too much on the AI aspect of making a site because it can be largely inefficient and inaccurate, so I typically don't rely on it too much, but I'll use it from time to time to just give you an idea of how you can utilize it in your own website. But a lot of the content is hit or miss, specifically the AI logo maker, because you need to purchase credits to make your logo, which is not the most productive way of doing things. So I'm gonna give you guys alternatives for that, but that's largely the 4 main tools. If you don't have a blog, then you're not gonna have this option, but largely the blogs are just these 2 things. So you can add new posts, and then these posts are going to take them to another page. So the difference between the pages and the posts is that you're not gonna have the blogs or the blog posts rather in your menu, whereas these are just hidden pages within your website. So hopefully I explained that well enough. So now that that is covered, let's actually get to editing the sites. Now, when I work on a site, I like to work from top to bottom, but also to have a clean slate. So what we're going to do is we're going to delete these 3 sections and leave our header and footer. So to delete something, just click on it, whether that's an object or the section itself. So click on it like that. You're going to get this toolbar. I'll explain it as we go along, but right now all that you need to do is delete, delete, and delete. Now, let's work from top to bottom. So working from top to bottom includes adding sections as we go along, but right now we have our header that needs a little bit of work, in my opinion. And by that, I mean just changing the logo. On the right-hand side, we're not going to add anything until we have our store, and that's going to fill in this empty space on the right-hand side. So to change things in your header, just click on your header, click on the edit header option, and to change the layout of your header, you can just play around with these options right here. You can change the spacing between items and also the spacing between the top and the bottom of this section. Now, I don't really feel the need to change the spacing here, so let's move on to the actual logo. And also keep in mind, by keeping your header sticky means that when you're scrolling down, the menu will always be prominent at the top of the screen. If you disable this, then it's just going to disappear as you scroll down. So that's what that is. I like to keep it enabled for all intents and purposes. So to change your logo, go to this tab and click on Replace Image. Then choose your logo from the upload files and find the folder you have. These are all pictures I found from the internet, so that's where they came from. And this is my logo right here. Click on open. It's going to take some time to load in, and then all you have to do is click on select, and then it's going to show up in your sites. Then on the right side, you can change your logo width to suit your style, and then you can go to the styles tab right up here to change the style of your header. So you can change things such as the header background or the text font to be separate from the rest of your site, as well as the header text color. I'm going to change these to be green, so you see how that changes. But there's also another wildcard option for you to go to the edit text styles and set up 3 individual paragraph presets for your paragraphs that will appear throughout your site. Now, I don't really use this that much, but you can try it out if you'd like. Now, we've changed our header, but how about we add some content now? So to do that, we need to have another section. And to add a section, we hover in between 2 blocks like this, click on Add Section. You have a variety of templates to pick from, but I'm going to pick the Add Blank Section option right here. Now, I'm going to add text. So to add text, you go to the Elements tab right here, and you drag and drop whatever element you want. Now you'll notice when I move this around that there's this gray space, and that's merely to accommodate mobile devices. And what I mean by that is when you go to the top up here, you'll notice that we're in the desktop view, okay? When we switch our view to the mobile view, then it changes entirely. And this is just so you don't have to constantly switch back and forth to see if your adjustments on the desktop page have been accommodated and optimized for the mobile devices. So Hostinger makes sure that it finds a nice balance between the two. Now, I'm not going to edit anything in the mobile version, but just keep that in mind. Now over here in this text box, to edit the text, you just double click on it, and then you're going to have the opportunity to alter it in any way you see fit. I'm going to place this text right here, hottest news items of this week. And if you want to move this around, well, just drag it around. And if you want to expand this section, you can just grab it right here, and then you can make it larger. So what I want to do next is I want to add an image. So we're going to go back to the Elements tab, grab an image, place it right here. We already did this process when we were adding the logo. So go to change image, and I already added this image because maybe I might have had to do a retake or so. But regardless, you already know how to add an image. Upload the file, select the picture, and then the picture is going to show up right on your website. But if you want help with editing your photos and making your logo, you can use a website called Canva. I actually made the logo for this site on Canva, and it's super easy to use. It's flexible and allows you to mishmash things until you're satisfied. So I'll also make sure to have a link for that in the description as well. And now for our regularly scheduled programming. So what we need to do with this photo is to edit it and then change the crop format. So to do so, click on the photo, go to edit image, and you have your image settings here where you can customize it. What I need is to change the shape, and I'm going to change it to this slanted, you can call it horizontal, vertical shape. Let's go with that. Shapes aren't my strong suit. I actually failed the second grade. Now, I'm going to crop this by going to crop and position, and you can change it accordingly. Now, you can make it larger to enlarge it and to actually really just get the part of the photo that you want. So I'm going to click on done. That's perfectly fine with me. Now I'm going to make this shorter and a little slimmer, and then I'm going to add a button here. Now I'm going to add two more pictures, but I'm going to show you how to add a button. So I'm going to go over here to add elements, grab my button, and then you can also customize your button by hitting edit button, and then you can change the text, the style, like the font, the size, and the color, and as well as the animation. Right now, I just want to change the button text, so I'm just going to change this to read more, and then I'm going to continue with the rest of the photos, well, the other two photos that I need. And now when I click on this, I can also link it to the blog that I have, which we'll do once we make a blog for this particular, well, generally, once we make a blog post, and I'll show you how to do that later on. But right now, we've added a photo. You know how to add a photo, crop it, edit it, and also how to add a button. So now I'm going to add the other two photos, and then we'll keep going. And this is what it looks like with the other two photos. The reason why this one's larger than the other two is I want to indicate that this is more important or more popular than the other two news items here. So people might be like looking for this one on our blog. So that's my line of thought there. But now let's add another section. So we're going to add a video. And here, instead of having to go through the whole process of adding text, you know how to do that. I'm going to add a video. So I'm going to add a video. I'm going to take this template and put it here. Now, don't worry, to add a video, you just take it from here and drag it in, but this is just saving us some time. Now, to change the video that's in here, you just click on the video itself, you click on edit video, and then you put in your own, whether that's a YouTube link or a video that you had, you can upload it from here. And that's it. Now you can also fiddle around with the autoplay settings, but we won't do that right now. So now what I have to do is change the heading and then the paragraph here to match what I'm trying to talk about. And here's also an important thing. When you're editing your text, you might find that you have restrictions to your boundaries boundaries, or perhaps it's too large, and it's very easy to change your font and sizing. If you're not already in this toolbar, you can just double click it and then it's going to activate this, and then you can change your font size accordingly. Now down below, I'm going to take advantage of the AI writer. So let's try out the AI writer and see if it can come up with an adequate description for the video that I'm trying to present. So let's give this AI writer a whirl. I already have a description for it, and I didn't give it too much information, just enough for it to come up with something original. So I'll click on create text right here, and it'll take a few seconds to make it, so I'll give it a little bit of time, and then I'll cut to that point. Now, when it's done doing its thing, you're gonna get a block of text, and I'm not too worried about how accurate this is. I just wanted to show you how it works, but I would highly recommend that you do. Now, what I do need to do here is reformat and organize this section because it looks like a disaster. So while I do that, get ready for the next section, which is going to be the last section for our homepage. Now, the idea I have for this next section is unique, it's to me at least. So we're gonna go down to the images tab right here and grab this template, and I'm going to, of course, rearrange them. I'll save you some time on this. I'm going to actually include photos of mine that I took while gaming. They're not remarkable, but the reason behind this is not to flex or anything, but rather to have a section where customers can send in their own photos. So once I've finished editing all of this text, I'm going to include an email field where customers can supposedly, well, send in their photos. So how about we do that? And fortunately, it's super easy to do so. So all you have to do is go to the left-hand side to your elements and then grab the contact form, place it into the preview, and then to remove the fields that we don't need, as we've been doing throughout the duration of this video, to remove anything or to alter anything, whether it's a picture, image, whatever, go to edit that thing, and then head over to fields to remove fields. So just open the drop-down menu, remove field, and we're gonna remove everything but the email. So now that that's done, all we have to do really is to include the store aspect of things. Now the store aspect of things is a lot more nuanced, so I'm going to make sure that it's as simple as possible. So to add an online store, go to the left-hand side on these three dots and click on this online store option. From here, just click on the add store button, and then you're gonna have the store available on your site, but these aren't the items we want. We wanna add our own, so head back to the left-hand side, click on the three dots, go to online store, and then head down to the manage store option. And from here, you're gonna have to name your store, which is simple enough, and then also set up your account based on your country and your currency. And after all that, it's gonna take you to your store manager. It has this checklist, which you might be tempted to follow, but I don't like to use the checklist because there are things that they don't tell you that I will. So let's get into it. Now, on the left-hand side, you have your products, similar to the first step here. So we're kind of on track. And so we go to our products, and these are the placeholder items. Now we're going to delete this soon, but first let me show you how to add before we subtract. So go to the add product button right here, and it's going to ask you which product type you're trying to add. So whether that's a physical product, a digital, a service, a donation, or appointment. Now the appointment is if you're coaching or something, or you want to have a webinar, that is for the appointments. Now, what I want to do is add a physical product first. So the first thing is adding that product. So adding the image of that product. So I'm going to go to my folder, my blog folder, and I'm going to add an image of not a store, an image of a t-shirt that I have, totally real and not AI generated. And so I used ChatGPT for this, if you were wondering, with the whole image creator. But that's not important right now. So the next thing you need to do is give your product a name. Underneath this, you have the subtitle and ribbon. The subtitle is where you add taglines such as, well, made in the US. And the ribbon is where you'd include flashy words like new, on sale, or discount. And underneath this is where you'd add the bulk of your information in the description, of course. And beneath the description, you have the add to bag button, which is pretty arbitrary because I don't know why you disable this. Here you have the price and the discount price. You don't need to have a discount price if you don't have anything on sale. Then over here, you add your SKU and the weight of your products. The track quantity option here just allows you to, well, track your quantities. So just include how much you have in stock. The options allows you to include options like the size, the color, things of that nature, variants of that sort. And you can just input the size that you have and then add a new one and then save it all once you're finished. If you want to add more options and variants, you just click on this button and then you can do so. And if you want to manage the variants that you already have, just click on this big vary obvious, non-conspicuous manage variants button, and then you can change the values and details from there. Now down below you have the categories, which is something that we're going to touch upon in a moment after I show you how to add a digital product. But when it comes to this page, all you got to do is click on save, and then you've essentially finished the process of adding a physical product. Now, the process of adding a digital product is largely the same. You just click on add product, and then you go to the digital option this time. You're going to have to fill out all these fields once more, but the only difference is that you're going to have this upload file option at the bottom, and you just take your digital file, your ebook, whatever file that you have, you drop it into here, and we'll give it a few seconds to upload itself. And once it's done doing that, you'll see that the customers will have 48 hours to download the link that they'll receive in their email. And so that's pretty much it. Once you fill this out, just go to save, and then that's really all that there is to it. And now once we go back to our products list, you can see that we have the t-shirt and the digital product. Now, I'm going to show you how to delete something, but not all of them, because I want some examples for when I include the categories. So we're going to click on these three buttons and click on delete, and that's really all there is to it when it comes to deleting things. Now, as for the categories, just go one tab below, click on add category, and here you can just include whatever category it is. So what we're going to do is we're going to include things like the physical products, and then we're going to include a section for the digital ones, and that's really all there is to it. So once you've named it, just go down to assign products and then find the one you want. So here we're going to include all of the physical products, and then just click on save, and really that's all there is to it. And to just get my point across, we're going to add the digital product as well. So you click on add, you name it, digital is already suggested, assign the product, click on the ebook, audio file, whatever, save it, and then Bob's your uncle. And moving down the pecking order on the left-hand side, we have the orders. So once you start receiving them, this is where they're going to appear. Then you have the appointments down below that, where once a customer schedules something with you, they're going to appear on the calendar. Below that is the discounts. So you can set up a discount, you can set up the name, the amount that the discount applies for, what it applies to. So you can choose a category, the conditions as well, and how long the discount is applied for. And now let's move down to the store settings right here, where we have this cog. Now, most of this stuff requires you guys to sit down and fill it out, and these aren't really things that I need to go through for the tutorial, but there are two things that I do want to touch upon. So the payments. Now, the payments offer PayPal and Stripe as third-party providers, so you have to set up accounts with them to be able to accept payments. And you can also set up manual payments for cash on delivery, money orders, and bank transfers. So just keep in mind, you need to set up profiles with both of these third-party providers to start receiving payments. Now, going back to the store settings, the next thing that might be a little difficult to understand is the shipping. So that's why I'm going to talk a little bit about it. So when it comes to shipping, there's not that much that you need to do, but you need to understand what you're doing, if that makes sense. Now, you'll see that you have your regular shipping routes. So this is domestic, and no, it doesn't actually think that there are 57 states in the US. There's just a lot of different islands, such as American Samoa and let's say Northern Mariana Islands. So it includes basically all territories that fall under the United States. Gotta love that. Now, what we're gonna do here is go to the create zone up here and create another zone. So what we want to do is just choose another zone. So I'm going to choose Europe. Now, I'm not going to include every country in Europe, but let's just pick Albania as the first country. So we're going to save it here. And then all we have to do here is just go down to the shipping options and click on take action and edit this. Now, name the shipping option itself and choose the shipping rate. So let's go $10 for shipping to Albania. And to customize this even further, you got to add conditions. So if you're shipping to somebody and you want to make sure that it's actually worth your while, or you have stipulations on shipping, for example, you can set up a minimum order price. So $10, somebody has to spend $10 for you to ship to them, and the maximum can be whatever. But you can also change the order weight and determine what the price is based on the weight and also what the weight has to be at minimum for you to ship to them. And this is where the maximum order weight becomes a little more important, because sometimes it can be very heavy, and of course it can be more difficult to ship that. But that all comes down to your specific situation and circumstances, but that is the gist of things. So we can include a minimum order price of $5 or $10. We can add that. And then now we've set up Albania as the whole of Europe. So you have to love that Albania conquered all of Europe. And so once you're done that, that's really all there is to it. You go back to shipping, and you've set up 2 individual zones. So yeah, it's that easy. Okay, so with that taken care of, there are only 2 other things that we need to talk about, and that is how to customize your store and how to add a blog post. So to go back to your website and to customize the store, go up there to the top right, and go to the left-hand side to our pages and navigation section. Click right there, go down to add page. But first, our store looks like this right now. Okay, so we have all of the items located in one section, and we don't want that. So we're gonna go back here, add a page, add the online store product list, click that. And now we have another page added. But I want to make this a drop-down menu for the store. So we're going to click on this cog here and then move to drop-down. And what I want to include in this is, well, the physical items, for example. So we're going to go back here, go to edit section, click on the items that we're going to show in this section. So go to the drop-down menu, and we're going to add the physical products only. And now you just want to go over here to pages and navigation and change the name to physical. And the process was the exact same for when I was adding the digital page. As you can see here, they're both in my drop-down menu. But if you want to rearrange the organization of your menu, even your drop-down menu, just drag it by this left-hand side, and that's all you have to do. And now let's talk about the last thing that I want to add, and that is a blog post. So you go over here to the left-hand side and click on the blog tab, and then you go down to add new post, and from here you have the choice of changing the tone of voice. So we're going to go with casual, and you can change the length of the description, the length of the post itself. So I'm going to write a bit of a description here, and then I'm going to click on create content, and let's see what happens. And so after a few seconds of waiting, it actually came up with about a 19-minute read worth of content. So as you can see, it really did give me meaningful information that I didn't actually think of, as well as games that you could try to use to practice your aiming precision. And yeah, it's actually not too shabby, I'm not going to lie. So if you want to use the AI content writer for your blogs, if you have blogs in your site, then yeah, I'd consider it. Definitely do tweak it, but I wouldn't recommend this for all of your posts. But if you want some help getting creative, then yeah, definitely try it out. And also do make sure that you actually publish your post once you finish. So you can do that by heading over to the blog button, and then you can click on the 3 dots and then click on publish. And so it's actually going to go live. Now, how we actually tie the blog to the button at the homepage, well, that's a different story. It's not a long story, but it's a different story nonetheless. So we go to the blog, we click on the read more button, we edit the button, and then we click on the link to. Now you can link it to the general blog, or you can link it to a specific blog post. Now I'm just going to link it to the general blog. So I'll click on this, and you can either open it in a new tab or open it in just the same tab. So we're going to open it in a new tab, and we can choose the animation and the other edit options that we know we have available to us. So we'll exit out, we'll preview, and we'll try this out by clicking on read more, and then it's going to take us to the blog. And you'll, oh, well, hold on. It's going to take us to the blog, and then it's going to show us the post that we just made. So yeah, it's pretty easy. And to finish off this video, let's publish our site. And it doesn't take too much searching to find that option. Just go to the top right. And we do need to do this because otherwise we can't see if our store works. So that's a crucial part. Now you click on go live again. And the only caveat to this is that you need to purchase an actual domain to go live and, you know, actually sell things. But you do have a test domain, a sample one that you get for free from Hostinger. And you can check out how to buy a domain and apply it to your website by clicking in the description. I have a video for that, and you can check that out to get you the information that you need. Nevertheless, when it comes to actually seeing what your site looks from the perspective of a customer and whether or not it works at all, you just go to this view site button right here. And this is the way that a customer is going to see our site once they land on it. Now, if you want to add something to your cart right here, or your bag rather, click on store, and then you just pick whatever item you want. For example, let's go with a Pixel Plus t-shirt. We're going to go with large, and we can add however many we want to our bag. So add it to the bag, and this is the description we added, so it's nice and neat. So add this to the bag, go to checkout, and this is the checkout page that the customers are going to have to fill out. Of course, I don't have my payment information because I have that tied up with another website, and to have that crossover would just be a disaster. So once the customer comes to this page, they're going to fill out the necessary fields, add the shipping destination, and all the things that you include for this page. And so yeah, when it comes to this tutorial, that's pretty much it, folks. Meaning that is all for this video. It has been quite the journey, but we made it to the end finally. Do make sure to leave your questions if you have them in the comment section below, and I will get back to you as soon as I can. Don't forget that you can use the link in the description below to get a site-wide discount on Hostinger, and to receive an extra 10% off, you can copy the Site Starters code in our description and use it when you're checking out with Hostinger. And down in the description, you'll find additional links to the things that I've mentioned in this video. And if you enjoyed the video, make sure to subscribe and hit that like button to help us out. And as for now, that is all we have. But until next time, take care.